Greetings, Grandmaster Stroud here, brother teacher. This video is for a select group of my students, and it covers the application from a demonstrative standpoint of the first set of techniques in our Jinen-Do series. 1 through 5 in the first set, but I'm not going to do all 5 today. I'm going to do 2 or 3. So I'm going to try to break this down, and please realize that I'm facing you on the video. So govern yourselves accordingly and use the proper side of the body, and it should be done on both sides of the body so that you can have balance. So with that said, this is the punching series. When a punch is coming towards your face, we want to parry, what most of us typically call it block. We want to use tan sao. That's a palm up block. And then we also want to use a four-fist strike or reverse punch to the bladder groin area at a diagonal angle. So look at it like this. The punch is coming. I block. These are by the numbers, or by the steps. I block and I step off to the side here and I punch down to the groin or the bladder area. But it's done according to the Chinese philosophy, Lin Dai with attack and defend at the same time. But I'm breaking it down for you. So it's a block or parry, tan sao, then it's a strike down, and then you follow with the hand here that originally deflected the punch, and you strike to the side of the neck, and the second hand comes and strikes to the side of the neck or the temple area or jaw area immediately after. So it's done like this. It's 1, 2, 3. Very simple. Done at the same time. You block and strike at the same time. Watch me again. 1. Strike, strike. Real simple. That is number 1 in the first set of 5. The second number series within that set is tan sao. The person is punching again. As they're punching, I tan sao and I step forward with my left leg and I strike along the neck area again. Tan sao as they're coming towards me, and I almost immediately meet them, but I peer off to the side with my left foot stepping forward, and I strike the side of the neck, and I strike the side of the neck again, and follow again. So it is here, 1, 2, and 3. I always tell the students to imagine yourself standing on a train track and your opponent is in front of you. In this particular instance, they're stepping forward punching. As they are punching, I'm going to intercept and or parry their right punch as I'm stepping at a slight angle past their lead leg over here and striking. I'm meeting them, irimi in Japanese. I'm striking them on the neck, and I come back and strike again. So it will look like this. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Really simple. So that's the first 2 techniques in the first series of 5 techniques. Now, I want to tell you this, those that are watching this video today, and please understand this. When you're taught techniques against a specific situation, for example, a punch is coming at you, or a person grabs your collar, or they grab your wrist, and your instructor gives you a specific thing to do, understand that that is not the limit. In other words, when I did this earlier, I struck here, and my next technique ended up being a palm strike, and then a knife hand following. I tell my students all the time, and if you're watching, I'm telling you all the time, you have a toolbox. Psychologically, you should look at it like this. I have a toolbox full of techniques, and I must constantly sharpen those techniques for them to be an effective tool that I carry in my box. So you don't want to just have one punch. You don't want to have just one kick, one elbow strike, one throw. Now, of course, it's going to change from person to person depending on what your physical capabilities may or may not be. But you want to have more than one technique. Now, let's say you had 10 techniques to defend yourself, and that was all that you were capable of. Take the 10 techniques that you have and practice them thousands and thousands and thousands of times, so that they become part of your muscle memory and they become second nature to you. And when they are second nature, what that really means is that when you encounter an attack, you will respond without thinking. That is when it's second nature. But when someone attacks you and you freeze up, guess what? You have no muscle memory of martial arts techniques that you've been shown. None whatsoever. But when someone attacks you and you respond with the required response, which is going to be what you've been trained to do, when it's part of who you are, that is when you know you are practicing correctly. Train, practice how you're going to fight in the streets. When you punch at a person in class, don't punch beside their head to avoid hitting them. Punch to hit them. I'm not saying beat up your classmate, and I'm not telling the instructors to beat up the students, but I'm saying make it as real as possible to your students, because they need that, because it has to translate to the street environment. So I tell my students all of the time, punch me in my nose. Of course we do it in levels or increments, slow speed, mediocre speed, and then real speed. But I say punch me in my nose to make it real to me that I'm about to be hit. That way I can apply the appropriate technique. But if you keep punching over here, I'm going to be expecting that in a street situation. You know, that the person is not going to actually hit me, or that it's a classroom setting again, and it's not. It is real life. It is the monkey on your back. So when someone attacks you, you respond immediately. You don't like, oh my God, I'm about to get, and it doesn't work. Because if you respond like that, 99.9% of the time, your opponent is going to prevail in the street confrontation. So with that, I'm going to leave you in this video, and I want to encourage you to continue to train, and don't just train when it's convenient for you. Train when it's not convenient, because you will appreciate it in the end, because you only get one go at this. You practice thousands of times. What I always tell my students, I always tell you, my students that are watching as well, we practice thousands of times for that one possible time that someone could try to inflict injury upon us. And so that one time that we have to defend ourselves, we have something to stand on, because we have practiced appropriately in the school or the training hall. This is Grandmaster Stroud. I'll see you in the next video, and please leave your comments in the comment section below.